Welcome to the Life Your Marriage podcast and YouTube channel.
Woo!
We are pumped to be here.
That was so fast. And YouTube channel? Hello? We are so pumped to be here, for sure.
We're excited, and we're going to have some special stuff we're going to share today.
Special stuff.
So, are you ready to get into it?
Boom.
Let's do it. So, again, welcome, and if you're new to the show, we'd appreciate if you hit,
I'm itching my
if you hit the subscribe button down below, and also the alert notification bell to stay abreast at everything coming out to you. Yes, that is the right word and how it's used properly. So,
we're just starting right off the bat. I mean, abreast.
No comments from you. And if you're listening on the podcast, if you'd follow us, that'd be awesome. I appreciate it.
Whole situation.
So, good thing, as we start off normally.
Good thing.
What do you got this week? Anything?
Good thing. No, you go first.
Okay, so it might be something kind of small, but I'm thankful for it. I hunt, and I'm not an avid hunter, but I'm learning, okay? We'll just say that. And I have a crossbow, and the scope was all messed up, and I was able to get a new scope, and I got it all sighted in. And,
Sighted in.
Yeah, got it all sighted in.
That is avid hunter speak.
It is avid hunter speak. I had to look it up. I didn't. I didn't. But I probably would have if I needed to. How else do you learn?
How else do you learn? Gotta look it up.
So anyway, but that's something small, but I'm thankful for it. It's a good thing.
That's awesome.
So now I'll be able to
it's a very good
go out in
thing.
the backyard and hunt some.
It's a good thing.
So yeah. What do you got?
My good thing is that it has been 70 for like 2 or 3 days now, and glory, because it was so frigging cold last week, and I thought I was going to die. And so
It was what, 40s?
Oh, it was too cold. It was like 45, and it was like raining like
And
every
windy,
day.
very windy. It was the wind.
It was freezing. We had to go to soccer. It was a whole situation.
What's it called? There's got to be something that scientists or meteorologists or whoever call it where 40 degrees in the fall is way colder than 40 degrees in the spring.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's the same temperature.
And then like 70 degrees in the fall is way hotter too, because like today it was like 70, 71, and I was literally like, I thought I was going to sweat to death. But it was awesome. I'm not complaining. It's a good thing.
Kind of sounds like you might be.
No, it's really, that's my good thing. Like, I'm so serious because the sunshine was just necessary, and I needed it to be warm and wonderful, and it was. Yeah. And I was really, really
So that's
happy.
good thing. Nothing huge. It doesn't have to be.
You're rushing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Maybe I had more.
Did you have more?
I don't know.
I didn't think you did.
I was trying to think. Something happened yesterday. Today I went to Atwood, though, and that was amazing because it was beautiful.
Atwood Lake.
And I was outside.
It's a lake near us.
Me and Elias, and we went with our friend Allie and her gaggle of children that she has now because she's awesome. No, she babysits, but anyways, she just had like a lot of little kids, but they were so cute. And so we went and we took a walk. So when we go on the walk for the walk for the angels that we did a couple weeks ago, how long is that walk that we walk?
Oh, I don't know, it's probably a mile.
It's probably a mile.
And a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking it used to be 3 that we used to walk.
No.
I know,
Definitely
right?
not 3.
I'm like, there's no way. Okay, so because I was just trying to think like how far we walked today, and I would bet it was probably 2 miles, like there and back. Yeah. It might have even been 2.5.
You took some pictures. They were real pretty.
It was wild time with all those children, and it was hot, but we made it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we walked, and then we were so far, and we could see the playground. And it was still pretty far, but we could see it. And I was like, well, we could go all the way back and drive there, or we could just walk there. So we walked there.
And you have to walk all the way
I know,
back.
it was a bit of a mistake.
Yeah,
Elias was like, Mom, we could have driven our van over here.
Surprised he didn't send you to go get the van. Mom, go get the van.
I had to give him a couple
Drive
breaks.
over here.
The break thing is something that I saw, which whatever. I mean, like, all these things are things that parents could, like, think of on their own, but, like, other parents think of them for you, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, genius. So when I take walks with him now, he's 6 and he's little still, and he's clingy and he's just the baby forever. Okay. And so
It really is.
he needs a break, you know, because it's too much.
It's too far.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can ride. Like, you can ride on my back for 1 minute, and then I'm done.
Oh,
so,
you carry him?
Yeah.
I thought you would just stop and just let him take a break, and sit down or whatever.
No,
Get
I
under a
carry
tree.
him on my back for 1 minute, and then we count down from 10, 9, 8, and he loves it, and then he's fabulous. Like, for at least 15 more minutes.
Does he ask for the break?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it's super cute. And, but yeah, that's my good thing. I feel like I had something else that I wanted to say.
There it is. How many minutes are we in? Like 4 minutes in? First yawn?
I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah.
Cool.
That's my good thing.
Yeah.
I love you.
It's nice when the weather's out. I love you.
What was your good thing? Oh yeah, hunting.
Yeah.
I have another story that I have to tell though.
Okay.
I have a broody chicken. And she's the best ever. And I thought she was dead. Or I thought she was dying.
Dying, yeah.
Yes. And I was really like nervous about her, and I thought I was gonna have to take her to the vet because I didn't know what was going on. But then I figured out that she's freaking broody and she just wants to be a mama. I just love her so much. But you know what people are telling me now? That she is you can't break them of that. Like you have to move them like to somewhere else or put them in a cage or something to break them of it, or they will just forever do that, like stay in the coop. Like she doesn't come out of the coop.
What breed is she?
She's an Australorp, I believe.
Yeah.
She's all black and shiny, looks like a mermaid.
Exactly like a mermaid. Identical
to a mermaid. I love her, but she like sits on eggs like all day long waiting for them to hatch, and they're not going to hatch because she has no boyfriend. So I just don't know what to tell her. I feel really bad for her.
Or
husband.
No husband.
Whatever.
What kind of show is this?
Anyways.
The heck?
Broody chickens. They're super fun. So if you have any ideas about a broody chicken or advice, I guess, about a broody chicken, then you just email me.
We could think of it ourselves, or we could just ask someone else, right?
Absolutely.
That's the lesson you're learning today.
Absolutely. We're learning out loud.
Learning out loud.
Say it every time.
Cool.
Are you all right?
I'm great.
Okay, you seem weird.
So that is good thing. So, song. You been listening to any music this week?
Song. Oh my gosh, yes, I have the best song ever. So, can I go?
Yes.
First? Okay, so my song of the week.
Okay, I already know what it is. It's devastating to all of their songs. Go ahead.
It really is.
It's so good.
Totally is. I don't even know who it's by though.
Kingdom Culture.
Kingdom Culture Worship. That's what it says.
Kingdom Culture Worship.
If you look it up on Amazon Music or Spotify. So my friend Emily, shout out to Emily, introduced me to Kingdom Culture Worship, which is like the new Mav City. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and maybe they're way bigger than Mav City. I have no idea. But anyways, they're amazing. And the house is How Good the Lord Is.
The house is?
The song, I mean.
The song is.
The song is How Good the Lord Is, right? Can't believe how good the Lord. No, that's not right. It's close though.
I can't believe how good the Lord is.
That's close. Anyways.
That's exactly on.
It's really good.
It's very good. Yeah.
And it's so amazing. And it's just really funny because she sent that to me on a day that, like, a couple days before we had decided, we obviously have talked about this before, but we're a foster family, and we have fostered children for 8.5 years, and obviously had a home study even before that, so for adoption. And so we have been home study ready and open for 10 years almost. Our son is almost 10. And we decided to drop our license to close our home. And for now, it's not going to be a permanent decision, I don't think, for sure. But for now, it's the best decision for us to make and for our family, and to rest and to focus on here and what we've got going on now. And
our baby girl, Tenley, is still in foster care.
Yes.
So we will be adopting her November 3rd, which we are pumped about. And so our license actually expires the end of November. So they are carrying it. Well, it does carry through her adoption, and then we're just not renewing it.
Yeah.
And which is a big decision.
It's huge, and like really huge, and was like, excuse me, this massive thing that was weighing on my shoulders for like a month, and I was really grouchy about it and pretty emotional. about it.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Because it's a big deal, you know. This has been our life
Yeah.
for like 10 years. And even though like for the last 3, we haven't been open to new children coming in because we've had Tenley. Like Tenley's the one that's been in foster care. It's hard to remember that she's actually in foster care because we
She's
don't
just part of our family.
do a lot of the foster care things like visits
Yeah.
and all of that. But anyways, so it's just was a really huge decision, and she sent me this song, and I just feel like it is such an anthem for what we have walked through for 10 years and how good the Lord has been for 10 years. And it was just really cool, and I love it. And so please look it up because it is so, so good.
Yeah. I'll have to just second that song.
Yes.
I mean,
So good.
you just listen to it, and what was one of the lines, and what is one of the lines in there in the bridge?
The giants, the giants were slain. I can't remember.
Something in the grave, but something about like, I'll tell these
I'll look it
stories to my kids
Oh, yes.
of God's faithfulness,
hallelujah.
basically. And that's, man, if you have children, listen to the song,
Yeah,
because
it's good.
the Lord has been faithful to all of us in one way or another, and we can tell these stories
Absolutely.
to our kids.
Absolutely.
I'll throw in a song there. It kind of actually covers.
Hold on, let me say.
Okay.
Did I
Yeah,
cough
yeah,
on
yeah.
you? I have a cough. I'm
No.
sorry, I have a cold. I'm going to be really annoying this whole time. And I've
Not the
seen.
Rona,
It's not the Rona.
but you're not going to catch it through a video or podcast.
You're
anyway.
definitely not. And it's on its way out. So hallelujah. And I've seen the giants that you've slain, every one left in the grave, all the wars you've won on my behalf. And I'll tell these stories to my kids that they may see your faithfulness. May they not forget the goodness of God. Oh, it's so good. What were you going to say?
Yeah, a song that kind of goes with that is House of Miracles by Bethel, which I believe you've already said in a previous week. But it just,
I don't know if I
we're
did.
just very nostalgic right now because of
We are.
kind of just thinking the past 10 years. And just, man, the stories that we could tell
Yeah.
of
good the
foster
Lord
care
is.
and the just craziness that God has done. It's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those were the songs.
Yeah.
Check them out. Put them on repeat. Let them sink into your souls. They're really good.
Sink into your soul.
So tonight we are going to actually kind of play off of what we did Wednesday night at church. Our pastor, they were teaching on a series on rest, and we're going to see if we can get him on here someday.
Boom.
But anyway, our pastors. But our pastor Travis, he was talking, just kind of asking people. It's a common thing within the Christian community. Do you have a favorite verse? Do you have a Bible verse or a story that speaks to you? And there were some really good responses and really thought-provoking. And it's really cool when someone asks that into a group of people, because you're gonna get your John 3:16s and kind of some of your more popular verses, but you're gonna get verses that you may have never read before or you never thought of in a certain way. That's our dog.
Dogs.
And it can be really good and kind of like just thought provoking. Like, wow, there's so many verses in the Bible, and so obviously they're all scriptures, God breathed. So and God yawned. So
He rested.
so tonight we are just going to today, whenever you're watching this, we are going to take some time and just go over our verses
Can I just
from the Bible. Sure, absolutely. Keep going.
abreast?
Wow. That's not how that's used. But it's okay. So Nikki's going to start.
I am.
And it's really good. And actually, she was like, I'm just opening her Bible, and boom, just right to it.
I just opened right to it. I mean, it's like a miracle. I don't even know what's happening. Okay.
Good.
I'm going to read. I might read more, like, just like.
You're not going to do it wrong.
Okay. Because, I don't know. From the top, there's a verse over here that I like. It's 8. I was going to go back, but I don't know where exactly I want to start.
Isaiah what?
It's Isaiah 49. And I guess we'll start at 14. So, it's, and this is the New Living Translation, FYI. I was going to read it out of the Passion, and then I realized that my Bible in the Passion,
I don't have Isaiah.
I think he's translated Isaiah, but I just don't have it. It's not in my Bible. So anyways, which is fine because it probably doesn't say it the way that I like it. So, yet Jerusalem says, the Lord has deserted us. The Lord has forgotten us. Never can a mother forget her nursing child. Can she feel no love for the child she has borne? But even if that were possible, I would not forget you. See, I have written your name on the palms of my hands. Always in my mind is a picture of Jerusalem's walls in ruins. That is my favorite.
Yeah, it's really good.
And do you want me to talk about why I like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would love it.
Okay.
Nothing more.
And so after Elle passed away, obviously I had a lot of time to sit and cry and be sad and reflect and read. And so I read a lot of Isaiah, the book of Isaiah. And then we named our first son that. See how that works out. But anyways, it's just really, really good. And so that verse was one I have it underlined in this Bible because I'm fairly positive. I don't know. I think this is my Bible from that time. But it was just, to know that he had my name written on the palm of his hand, and that, I love that last verse. Always in my mind is a picture of Jerusalem's walls in ruins. And so to me, what that's saying, I could be wrong in my translation. But I feel like it's him just constantly understanding our sadness and our grief and sitting with us in that. And when things feel like they're ruined and things feel like they're crushed and that they're bad and, that they're never going to be okay again, that he sits with us in that and weeps with us and understands that sadness and that grief. And that was just huge for me. And also, obviously, that he has my name written on his hand. And I had this revelation on Wednesday night when I was talking about it. I don't know that I'm sure I did, but I don't remember thinking about this after Elle passed. But when you lose a child, it is one of the most devastating parts of that is that your child will not be known, that they're so special. And
You think about simple things like they go to school and they take attendance.
Yeah,
Isaiah Deem, here,
right.
Here, and you go down, her name will never be said.
Right.
On a roster, on a sports, on a concert, on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And just that we loved her so much and that we were really the only ones who knew her, that we couldn't, that others would not ever get to know her and that we would never really get to know her personality or anything like that. For her to be known by him, that her name is written on his hand, and that he will never forget her, and that she'll always be known by him. I think it's just really awesome and huge, and that's my verse.
Yeah, I love that part, and you said it too, but always in his mind is a picture of Jerusalem in ruins, even when Jerusalem's not in ruins. But what that tells me is that he just remembers.
Yeah.
He can go back to that time and he remembers, like we remember.
Yeah.
We have the feelings
even when, even we can talk about baby loss and about grief, but even in, even when I found out that you had cheated, even when
any moment like
those
that.
Deep moments of, the wind being just totally knocked out of you. He's there, he was there when those things happened, and
I think
wept beside you.
What I'm kind of, getting at is that he's never, will you get over this already?
Oh my. He's
never all right, come on, it's time to stop being sad about this, or it's time to stop. Yeah. Every August we feel differently.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Feel different. It's just different because our bodies know it's a real thing. Our bodies know that 11 years ago, and it'll be 12 next year, and it'll be 13 the year after. Our bodies just know this was a traumatic time, a traumatic experience. And we have a God who also knows, who also remembers, who when August 13th is coming around, or October, or anything in any of our lives, he also has it on his calendar. Yeah. He also knows, okay, this is coming up. I remember the feelings when we have a sad day or sad moment or a stressful or a PTSD moment or, whatever. He also knows. Yeah.
Even for our kids, we've got kids who have trauma in their past. And so when those times of year come up, for those types of birthdays or anniversaries or whatever they are, their bodies remember, our bodies count it, and they know, and theirs react greatly.
They do.
To that trauma.
If anyone thinks because they haven't experienced it that's not a real thing,
that is,
it just is. It's a very
thing.
real thing, and it's hard. It's even harder with children sometimes because they don't know.
No,
they don't understand
have no idea what's going on.
But we know. Oh, okay, it's
Right. Yeah.
we got a birthday coming around the corner. We have something, and it's going to be tough just because it is.
Yep, absolutely. But he's there. He sits with us. In his mind is a picture of Jerusalem's wall in ruins.
I love how I think you said it on Wednesday. When you were a teenager, like you get something and you want to remember it, you write it on your hand.
Yeah.
You're taking notes. You write someone's phone number, or you write something from school. I remember a paper is due, or whatever. Or you write it on your hand so that you see it and you don't forget. And that's what God's done.
Telling the kids, I'm like, or like a tattoo, like
or
our
a
name
tattoo,
is literally like tattooed on his hand.
And not a side or not. You see your hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the time. He purposefully is like, this is visible to me. I don't forget it.
Yeah.
Which I think is very powerful in just a small little verse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good one.
Okay, now...
it's so hard, though, also, I just want to add that it's really hard to pick verses out of the Bible, like one that stands out to you. I mean, this one I feel like is mine and will always be mine, and it's just really good. But, like, any verse that talks about oaks of righteousness is also, like, at the very...
How dare you.
Oh, is that what yours is? No, it isn't. You're in first... Is this where your verse is?
Don't cheat. What a cheater.
Any of those are literally like a very, very close second. So, yeah.
Yeah. So this is I've always been kind of envious of, I will need that, of people who, my life verses, and they just rattle it off.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, there's never been one that's done it like that where I could just claim it and I know that it's my verse. But I do have...
You do have one tattooed on you, as do I, but that's not our verse.
No, it's not our verse. It's just
be.
a reminder. It's at the pace of the children, Genesis 33:14. You can read it. It's a good story.
I don't know if we've ever talked about that before.
No.
At the pace of the children.
But...
We should write a song.
Should we? Will you sing it?
Of the children.
Will you rap it?
I feel like it should be a rap. At the pace.
It definitely should be. Okay, so... there have been a few, I don't know. It's like I have one verse, but then there's another verse, and then there are like group think of Paul that all go together that are like chapters.
All right.
But I'm going to read from 1 John 4.
All right.
And
my back hurts.
It's good. So I'm going to read a little bit here, starting at verse 16 through 17. This is in the Passion Translation.
Ooh. Look at you.
We have come into an intimate experience with God's love, which is where everything starts, God's love. And we trust in the love he has for us. God is love. Those who are living in love are living in God, and God lives through them. By living in God, love has been brought to its full expression in us so that we may fearlessly face the day of judgment, which is a huge thing for me because I was always scared. Because all that Jesus now is, so are we in this world. And that verse, that line right there, just does me in anytime I read it. As Jesus is now, so am I in this world. And if you try to take that to its like farthest logical conclusion, like what is Jesus doing right now? He's sitting at the right hand of God. Is Jesus lacking anything? False. Nothing. Literally nothing. And I love it how John's very clear about it. He says, as Jesus is, so that's a present, right? Present participle, whatever. Present tense.
Wow.
As Jesus is, so am I in this world. Not when I die. That was such a big part for me. You know, when I die and finally go to heaven, finally, I will, whatever. But John is saying that however Jesus is now, that's how I am now in this world. He even says it to make sure we know in this world.
It's good.
If you look at the next line, love never brings fear, for fear is always related to punishment. But love's perfection drives the fear of punishment far from our hearts. And that is a verse for me with my wife. That is a verse for me.
Read it again.
With my kids.
Please.
Love never brings fear, for fear is always related to punishment. And how many times do we punish our children? Or how many times we punish our spouses by, I'm going to give you the silent treatment. Or I'm going to yell at her, or I'm going to try to manipulate her. I'm going to try to, you hurt me or whatever. And kind of what we talked about last week, or last podcast, we have our 50% that we can control of any relationship. They have their 50%, and we have our 50%. And no matter what they do to us, we still have the opportunity to react the way that God would react. And we can, because all that Jesus is now, so am I in this world. So all the giftings that he had, and think about his life and all the things he went through with the Pharisees, and the betrayal and the plotting and the backstabbing and the trying to murder him all the time. And that didn't affect the way he treated people. And that's what we try to teach our kids, Just because someone said that about you doesn't mean you have to retaliate,
Oh, yeah, right.
But we do the same thing, we
absolutely.
do it all the time. And so fear is always related to punishment, but love's perfection drives the fear of punishment far from our hearts. Whoever walks constantly afraid of punishment has not reached love's perfection.
Wow, man.
Here's let's keep going. Our love for others is our grateful response to the love God first demonstrated to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that is I know that one.
Mm-hmm. We love others because he loved us first.
Right, that's my mom's favorite verse. Yeah.
And
soon you're gonna get to L's. No, L's was 3:1.
Yeah.
On L's stone is 1 John 3:1.
Mm-hmm.
He lavished his love. I can't remember exactly what it says. It's on the back of her stone.
Yeah, we haven't read it in the Passion, I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Look with wonder at the depth of the Father's marvelous love that he has lavished on us. He has called us and made us his very own beloved children. It's good. It's good.
Oh my. That was a word before we even knew it was a word.
We had no clue, man. Okay, so I have to read one more.
Oh my.
Those are our verses. It's something to think about. Are there verses that impacted you? We'd love to hear them.
Yes.
If you want to comment on YouTube.
Instagram.
On Instagram. Yeah, what's
the handle on Instagram is at Life Your Marriage.
All
just,
Yeah, we'd love it if you follow us. Instagram sometimes is easier to interact.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, what is a verse? It's something to just meditate on and be like, man, these verses are good. Mm-hmm. So this one is, I think, I'm gonna just weep. Okay. So Isaiah 62. Don't cry,
You're
shop
so
girl.
Cute. Look at your eyes. Oh,
don't cry, shop girl.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. Movie. What is it?
You've got me.
You've got me. Of course.
Best movie ever.
Okay, so this passage. Okay, we're just reading Bible today, but that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. We've heard this. I think if you've been in a church, you've heard this portion of Scripture.
If you will.
To church it up, if you will. But when you continue on, here, I'll just read it. Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. Sound familiar? For he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies. Okay, that part I think is pretty familiar. But you read this, and I don't know when you read this, if it was with L, if it was at a different time.
I don't know how this isn't underlined. I feel like this is not my Bible.
You had another one, but it was falling apart. And
yes,
so you got this one, which is now falling apart.
Yes.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So verse 3, to all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes. Mm-hmm. Just let that sink in for a second. To all who mourn. Have you ever mourned?
Glory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, festive praise instead of despair. In their righteousness, they will be like great oaks that the Lord has planted for his own glory. Mighty oaks.
Hallelujah.
Mighty oaks.
Mighty oaks.
That's my tattoo on my arm.
It is.
Okay.
Mighty oak.
It's an oak tree. In our property here, we have 3 big oaks.
We do.
And
they are awesome.
You look up oaks. What they symbolize is strength and endurance. Basically, those are the big things. Mighty oaks that the Lord has planted for his own glory. Another version says to display the glory of his splendor. And so that's what we are as we live our lives, as we show strength, as we endure, as he told the Israelites all the time, just stand. Like, you don't have to fight the battles, he'll fight them. Yep. We just stand and we endure. That's so what we have to do.
One of those is in, I forget, is it?
And after all, just stand, or something like that.
Yeah, that was one that we had when we were adopting Victoria, or trying to. Mm-hmm. Was it Kings? I feel
Nikki
like
had a lot of verses that she wrote on little cards and put on mirrors and stuff all around our house.
Oh yeah, after El Paso.
And that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Also to do.
But yeah.
So we read that, and that's kind of our family verse right there.
And that's Isaiah again.
And that is Isaiah.
Literally the best.
But I started reading down one time, a little farther, and let me see. Verse 7. Instead of shame and dishonor, you will enjoy a double share of honor. You will possess a double portion of prosperity in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. And that one is just very important to me. And it speaks to me because I've had a lot of shame and a lot of dishonor with decisions that I've made in my life. And we all have, I think, to some degree. We could always be, shameful or disgrace, or we don't want to look at others because of something that we've done, especially when people find out. And he says, instead of that, I will enjoy a double share of honor. I don't even know. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. I will possess a double portion of prosperity, and everlasting joy will be mine. And that's just redemption. Mm-hmm. That's his story for all of us. Absolutely. He takes that death and turns it into life.
You got it.
Over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
So, take a few moments. I love you.
You're handsome. You need a nap, I think.
You. Let's do it. Nap time. How about just go to bed? What is it, 7 o'clock?
Bedtime.
But just, we wanted to do this tonight to share. It was very powerful for us when others were sharing on Wednesday their verses and why their verses meant so much to them. So take a second. It might be something you could share with your spouse. Sit down and be like, listen, I have this verse I'd love to share with you. What's a verse that's important to you? It can bring really great communication and just talking about Jesus and all the good things he's done.
Absolutely.
It's just like good thing, just
Intimacy.
a little deeper.
Speaking life.
And while you're doing that, you can play How Good the Lord Is in the background. And then you can just cry.
A good cry for Wes.
I'm an emotional person. It's okay. We're all emotional. Let those emotions flow, man. Don't
have a cry.
Don't hold them out. It's okay.
Have
a good cry.
What's it on? I can't remember.
It's Dumb and Dumber. Nikki's favorite movie
of all time. It's like, just kidding. Anyways,
so anyway,
yeah.
Again, hit the subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. And the bell for notifications. Follow us on any podcast. And we'd appreciate it. And Instagram at Life Your Marriage.
Life Your Marriage, Instagram.
So thanks for checking out Life
Your
Marriage.
Bye.